The first time here, we talk about the unusual activity that we've seen in the markets for options in particular of a particular stock. If that's put options, that's bearish. If that's call options, that's bullish. So let's get to the presentation. Today's 3 at 3 will be presented by, as usual, me. Here we go. 3 at 3 for the 5th of August. Disclaimer says, hey, you know what? These that Jon's about to describe are his observations, are the team's observations for unusual option activity. This is for educational and informational purposes only. Full stop, end of story. Intellectual property, yes, this is our intellectual property. Please be aware that we want you to ask us for permission to use this data if you choose to use it. We routinely do grant those requests. So please just ask us, and in all likelihood, we will say yes. We just want it attributed to market rebellion. Let's take a look at this one. Bang, bang, bang. This is Disney, my friends. Disney. I talked about it on the halftime yesterday. Unusual option activity. Yes, lots of it. And the shares of Disney making an explosive move higher today. So, for instance, just yesterday, the 4th, as you see there, we had unusual call buying at the 125 strike. Those were for options that expire next Friday. We also had this Friday options a day earlier. On Monday this week, we had the options that expire on the 7th of August. The 123 calls, and they were trading for 68 bucks a piece to 78 bucks a piece, 5,000 of those. So if you would have bought either of these two, the 123s for say 78 bucks or the 125s yesterday for 88 bucks, keep in mind that's still $2 higher, but it's got a week further to go out in history. Well, you might have been able to unload these for a lot of money because today's high is $130.30. So let's call it about $14 higher, or let's say $13 higher than where the stock was on Monday or Tuesday. Bang, bang. These calls, for instance, the ones that expire this Friday, 2 days hence, those calls at the 123 strike, AUG 123s, those traded as high today as, wait for it, $7. I was going to say $5.90. No, I didn't get this high, but they traded as high as $7.45. Bang, bang. Right now, they've traded 3,100 contracts, and they closed last night at 91 cents. Today, you didn't have a choice. I couldn't lose on the trade. You know why? Because normally I would have trimmed as it was running up. But because I was in these options for about 75 cents, that is the 123s that expire this Friday, they closed at 91 cents. That's not a double. As you guys know, my discipline is that I cut my losses if it loses half of its value. That's my discipline. And as it runs, as it doubles, I take half off the table. Well, an option that closed at 91 cents last night is not double the 75 cents that I paid for it. So I was lucky enough today, as these options opened, to be able to trade out of them for much more. In fact, the volumes look more like I got out for about $5.50. Not $7.50. I was too greedy, I guess. Got out, pulled the trigger. But still have some of those 125 calls next week. And I've written calls at the 130 strike against them already. Bang! And what are those 130s trading for? Oh, let me give you an idea because, you know, this helps some of you who are new to options. So August 14 expiration, the 130s closed at, or didn't close, I'm sorry, were $1.30 just moments ago. They have been as high today as $3. I got $2.40 for these. So imagine that. If you paid 88 bucks and sold the $5 higher strike for $2.40, the net between those two is how much credit, because I sold the 130s for a lot more than I paid for the 125s, and I can still make $5 the difference between those two strikes in addition to that. Bang! That's why we trade options. All right, let's take a look at another. There is the Walt Disney Company. There is when it traded 130 plus today. Thank you, Walt Disney. Let's take a look at AEO. This is American Eagle Outfitters, AEO. They were buying the September 11 calls, regular September expiration. And they're buying those 11 calls in American Eagle with the stock at $10.79. Now, the stock is still pretty close to that level right now. Where is it? $10.78. So literally same price as where it was. Now, these calls, the September 11 calls, pulling those up now, regular September expiration 11 calls, are trading for $1.10 right now. As you see here, they were bought for $1 very aggressively, and the 10.5s, they traded out of those, taking profits, we believed. And this is the 8th bullish entry since the 8th of July. So when you look at this stock, which has been moving up since Monday this week when it was below 10 to today when it moved all the way, as you see, through 11, it is now $10.78. Okay, let's see where this one goes. And you're only putting $1 on the table. That is our first trade of today's 3 at 3. Let's take a look at another. But first, marketrebellion.com/get started. That is marketrebellion.com/get started. What do you need to know? Well, maybe you want to learn basic option strategies. Maybe you want to learn advanced option strategies. We've got both from beginning, intermediate, advanced. We've also got cryptocurrency trading. We've got futures, and we've got stock. AJ Monty and I will be doing a webinar tomorrow about exactly that because AJ is on our team at marketrebellion.com. You might remember him from The Market Guys and some of his television shows that he had on public television for years and years. Now he's over at marketrebellion.com. Let's take a look at our second of our 3 at 3. This is AAL. Now, look at how many of these calls they bought, folks, in AAL, which is American Airlines. Now, you might say, wow, American Airlines, they're buying an awful lot, 62,000. That is 6.2 million share equivalent because every option is for 100 shares of stock. So they bought these calls aggressively. They paid 12 cents to 32 cents, which, since every option is for 100 shares, is $12 to $32. Bought a lot of these calls, right? That's a big trade, even if it is just in these sort of pennies. Nonetheless, this could be somewhere between $1.5 million on up as far as the total value of this trade. So, what happened? Well, let's see. In AAL, we had some GOP senators saying they favor a bailout bill for the airlines, another $25 billion. Now, no politics here. I'm just quoting you what it says right here on my news feed, that it was, I believe, 16 Republican senators, GOP senators, that said that they favored bailing out the airlines. And, quite frankly, if we're going to see a recovery in the market, we can't just let the airlines fail. I'm not saying they shouldn't have any preconditions on this money, but nonetheless, if you want to still travel around the country and around the world the way that we have up until recently, we need most of these airlines to be still around. And guess what happened? As soon as that news hit the tape, you think that 62,000 knew about that? There's the stock trading to $12.50 on that news. So those options going from 12 cents to 50 cents or $12 to $50, call me crazy, but that's 4 times your money from $12 to $50. That'll work. Yeah, that'll work. keep in mind they still have time. And keep in mind also discipline. Discipline dictates action. DDA, as my brother Pete likes to say. So DDA here is that I've taken my calls down substantially. The calls that I bought, I've taken them down substantially. Why? Because when an option doubles, you heard me say it just a few minutes ago, when an option doubles in value, I take half off the table. Well, these options doubled like that. Now, I didn't get them at 12 cents. I got them at 21 cents today. But they did go to, let's see, what is the high on the day? Let me see what the high is. I was going to estimate, but let me tell you what the high is on the day. The high on the day is $1.50. That's right. So something that I paid $21 for went to $150. Now, how's that for a trade? Is that 7 times your money? Yeah, it is. And these options traded an awful lot of volume in here, these August 11 calls. So I'd say keep your eyes on this. Again, which one? August 7th, 12 calls. 12 calls. So the August 7th, 12 calls. I was quoting the 11s just a moment ago. Sorry about that. August 11, 12 calls traded to 75 cents. So got a little ahead of myself. Traded to 75 cents. And what you've got here is something that went from 21 cents where I bought it, where the open interest was large, but nonetheless bought these for 21 cents, traded out of them for 60 cents, almost a triple. They traded to 75 cents. I've sold most of mine now. I still own about 25% of what I bought. And by the way, the volume now tops 95,000 contracts. That's 9.5 million share equivalent. Bang, bang. Let's get to our third and final of our 3 at 3 right now. CGC. This is Canopy Growth Corp. This is the one that Constellation Brands bought into. My friend Bruce Linton ran that company back then. Now he's a very rich and successful investor, no longer with CGC. I don't know if he's an advisor to the board still, but I imagine they probably took him out there. But nonetheless, very smart guy, nice man. And CGC, the stock gets a lot of volume, 11,500 of the August 20 calls. So again, this is CGC. August 20 calls, bought in 2 big orders. From 90 cents, which is $90, to $126 per option. And they bought 11,500 of those. Keep in mind that this has hit multiple times. In fact, it just hit Monday this week when the stock was lower. And now as the stock is here, even though it's down on the day, where is it right now? Now it's 1916. That is still down on the day, but higher than when we cited it here on our blog. And the options, those 20 calls with next week expiration, because that's not this week, folks. That's next week expiration, 20 strike calls. They are trading for, wait for it, $1.20 right now. Trading for $1.20. It's $120 a piece. You might recall yesterday they were buying Tilray in big numbers. Now, why would they be buying these 2 stocks? I think you know why. Because Nancy Pelosi has an awful lot of cannabis in the bill, in that heroes bill, as she calls it. Heroes, maybe they should say, smoke them if you got them. Anyway, CGC, folks, AUG 20 calls, bought aggressively here, and somebody's betting that something happens between now and next Friday, the 14th of August. And these calls are now up over 18,000 contracts changing hands. The high on the day is $1.27, just a penny higher than what you see on your screen there. So let's keep our eye on it. There again is the graph, and there you see Monday when the stock was basically $18.20. Now it's $1 higher than that, and we'll see if this one can make that push to or through $20 a share. But remember, you've got another week because these are the August 18th, 14th calls at the 20 strike. Thank you for joining me today. There is that volume, 18,000 contracts of those AUG 20 changing hands. That's a lot of contracts, folks. Somebody believes that Ms. Pelosi or somebody is going to have some positive news about cannabis stocks. Let's see if it happens this week or if it has to wait till next week. I am Jon Najarian. You want to learn more about Market Rebellion? Please go to marketrebellion.com/UOA. That is marketrebellion.com/unusual option activity. We do multiple trades a day there. You see them here. You also can sign up for one trade a day. If that's too much, we even just have one trade a week. You decide what's appropriate for you, just like how you set your stop losses and how you take your profits. I am Jon Najarian. I appreciate you joining me. I would also appreciate it if you mention us and this broadcast to your friends, because we'd love to have more people trading options and learning and profiting along with us. Thank you for joining me, folks. I hope you have a great day.